People who never get tired. What's your secret? Before we start with the first story, please hit subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Story 1. I'm a person who experiences great laziness and sometimes ridiculous amounts of energy, and I finally understood that at least for me, it's all tied to level of interest. If something is fascinating to me, I have ridiculously few limits. If something is boring, I'm ridiculously unmotivated. Unfortunately, it seems about 80% of life is in the boring category. I only discovered recently that being unmotivated when not interested is a symptom of ADHD. I've been like that my whole life, and for much of it I thought I was just lazier than most. I'm sure I would have done way better in school if I had been medicated when I was young. I haven't asked my doc for meds, but I've been thinking about it lately. Story 2. Daily exercise, good sleep, lots of water, balanced diet, interaction with people, and all that in a cycle of good habits. Last one is a big one. I'm someone who is always tired and always thinking about food, but I also tend to be a recluse. When I make a little extra effort being social, both the exhaustion and hunger go away. I finally see what people mean when they forget to eat, when I'm being especially social. But when I spread myself too thin socially, I burn out. So constantly trying to strike that delicate balance. The only thing I would add is sunlight, time outdoors. Obviously, this can be challenging for night shift workers, but there's a marked shift in my energy levels. From summer to winter, sunlight helps with vitamin D production and your melatonin cycle. Diet. Pay attention to your sugar intake. Sugary foods with a low fiber content can cause your glucose levels to drop and make you feel drowsy. Eating fruit instead, or even just eating a high-fiber, high-protein meal before a sweet snack can prevent a sugar crash. Story 3. It's probably too late for most people here, but I feel like running every day in middle high school really set me up for strong endurance. I didn't lift weights or have a strong diet or anything. The only really physical thing I did was run. But I ran bare minimum 5 miles a day for probably 10 years straight, rain or shine or snow or sleet. And now I'm really seeing the effects of just having a strong heart and lungs. Some absolute beefy friends of mine get wheezy after carrying a couch up a flight of stairs, and I'm standing there bouncing and waiting to go get the next thing. My back betrayed me, so I can't really run anymore, but I'm so glad that I did when I was young. It sucked then, it's awesome now. Take care of your future you. Story 4. Decent diet and sleep. I really hate how true this is. I want to believe there's a magic supplement or one weird trick or something to solve this, but suck it all. Eating properly and going to bed and waking up at consistent times is by far the most effective and the only long-term sustainable solution. Adequate hydration and regular exercise are also super helpful, but diet and sleep are the main things by far. This is a severely underrated aspect of it. Even if you get the required 8 to 9 hours, going to bed at 10:00 p.m. and waking up at 7:00 a.m. during the week, but going to bed at 1:00 a.m. and waking up at 9:00 a.m. on weekends will still leave you laggard and feeling behind. I learned this the hard way after many years before my doctor corrected me. Consistent sleep is just as important as sufficient sleep. Story 5. Not having autoimmune or neurological diseases also help. I came here to say a similar thing. I eat well, get plenty of sleep, drink lots of water, and exercise regularly, but I was still miserably tired all the time. Turns out, I have extremely low ferritin related to iron storage. I've been taking iron supplements for months, and my energy is very slowly increasing, but it's been rough. I think the eat healthy and sleep enough, that's it. People really underestimate how much having a healthy baseline has helped them. Story 6. Everyone in here is saying caffeine, but for me, cutting out caffeine completely was the best thing I ever did for my energy levels. No coffee and no tea. I did this and can agree. It was a tough week adjusting and getting through the headaches, but I have no more morning grogginess and feel like I'm a lot more stable energy and mood-wise. I also started yanking my curtains open every morning to let the sun in. It helps. I feel like with caffeine you are more tired when you aren't on the high. Not being on caffeine makes you so much more level. And if you become addicted to caffeine, it just means you have to keep taking more and more to maintain the same level as your body develops tolerance. So eventually, you just needed to stay awake. Story 7. I'm pretty sure my friend is on amphetamines, possibly cocaine. Her day is packed from the moment she wakes up to the moment she goes to bed, if she goes to bed. It's not just work, she just packs her day with so much stuff. She always has to be doing stuff, running places, meeting up with people. No one can keep up with her. You can't just hang out and smoke a bowl for an afternoon. It's always running errands, going out for ice cream, stopping at stores, cleaning a shed. She just has lists of objectives. And she's balls to the wall from the moment she wakes up to the moment she goes to bed. I don't know how she does it, and I could never live that life. I need a nap, just thinking about it. Story 8. I used to be a lot like this. Raised in a big, hectic family by the Depression-era folks who think that if you aren't busy, you're not doing it right. Some of the stuff, yeah, it has to be done, but some of it is just manufactured busy work to stay busy. I love my parents, and they did 90% of stuff right. But this one took a long time to undo. Even now, my mom recently had COVID and could not sit down and let her body healed. Those types of mindsets take a lot to undo. And I hope that your friend eventually gives herself the permission to not be so busy all the time. Story 9. I think people who never get tired just have lots of practice functioning with less energy, so it seems like they are never tired. I am always tired, but I can function at any level. That is to say, normal people have devised ways to seem alive, alert, and awake, but there are others. Those only spoken in Reddit threads, and on fitness influencer Instagram, the uber enthusiastic, the overly cheery, and chipper. Those people are not real, and are actually robots sent back from the future to cause the human race to live in despair and eventually allow ourselves to lose in the robot uprising. Or do they just drink a lot of water and get 8 hours of sleep every night? High-protein diet with exercise thrown in for good measure. I prefer the fly by the seat of my pants and just power through. But some would say those other people are doing it right. Story 10. Also, just keep swimming. Like, yeah, I am actually tired, but as long as I keep chugging along, I won't run out of steam. As soon as I stop for a minute or two, then it's game over. It's a struggle to start doing that thing again. So when there's crap to do, having a list of what needs to get done so I can immediately jump from A to B to C without losing momentum is a must. Breaks between independent tasks are fine, you should work yourself to death. But stopping in the middle of something can really kill all of my drive for that given task. Story 11. I can't say I never get tired, but I do have more energy and get more done than most people. I would consider these things the key to that. I work remotely FT and I have a job that pays decently and gives a lot of time off. This is a huge privilege, no soul-sucking commute. I can sleep on my preferred schedule, which allows me to sleep better, and I have time money to deal with stuff and to outsource some things. I eat not perfectly, but pretty well, with a lot of whole foods and fresh fruits and vegetables. I am pretty active. I do have a bit of coffee in the morning and sometimes a caffeinated diet soda at lunch, just to help my brain stay sharp, but I try to avoid caffeine after midday. My bedtime is pretty consistent, and I pretty much always get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I do pace myself. My summer has been pretty busy, so I have purposely kept the schedule lighter the last couple of weekends. Finally, I think a lot of people who complain about being tired all the time are actually experiencing some level of anhedonia, and that a lot of people, not necessarily all, would benefit from pushing through their tiredness to be more active, devote some time to a more satisfying hobby than zoning out in front of a screen or being more social. Not every night or anything, but like a few hours a week. I find that I feel more tired when I am doing less. Story 12. For me, it's purely genetics. I eat unhealthy, don't work out much or at all, sleep 6 hours every night, wake up a lot during the nights, but I'm never sleepy or tired. I'm in pretty good shape. I drink a lot of water and zero alcohol, drugs, coffee, energy drinks. But other than that, I have no advice for you except having my parents' DNA. Yeah. I honestly think so much of it is genetics. Some people I know just have tons of energy without caffeine or being healthy at all, and have been like that since they were kids. I can be perfect with diet, sleep, and all the other crap, and nothing changes. There could be some underlying thing like I should eat cucumbers because they have vitamin C 7674K9 that affects me or some weird, but it's almost impossible to figure out. I also wonder if I should be sleeping in that weird pattern where you sleep like in 4-hour shifts, but have a 2-hour gap between. Also, naps. Story 13. It's almost certainly a genetic thing. I've met people who can be high energy for intense amounts of time without assistance on very little sleep. I'd imagine healthy diets and exercise and proper medication have incredible positive effects, and that being your most active, healthy self is going to feel great and benefit you pretty much no matter what. That said, some people are just like that. The person I'm thinking of in particular had Williams syndrome and does not use any stimulants in treatment. He's just like that, and no one can health and lifestyle their way into that. Definitely follow the health positive advice here, but also just be mindful of realistic comparisons. We're all different, and some people are just kind of naturally sleepy. Don't assume that without trying to improve your lifestyle first, but some people, even when healthy, remain very easily tired and need a lot of sleep. Story 14. Going to the gym has been the absolute best thing for my energy personally, although I've been out of it for a while and feel like crap now. Also, eating enough is important. Try not to skip meals. They don't need to be timely, you just need to make sure you eat at some point. There's nothing wrong with having a late lunch. You don't need to skip it just because it's 3 p.m. If you find time to eat, then eat. Additionally, I found the best thing for my energy levels in terms of eating is good snacking. I usually end up slumped between lunch and dinner unless I get to eat something small between then. Something high protein like cottage cheese or yogurt, and then maybe a fruit is best generally. Maintaining eating habits is mainly how I maintain my energy when I'm not doing as much. But it's also very important when going to the gym, even if you're trying to lose weight. Losing weight isn't about not eating, it's about counting calories in and calories out. Not eating. For the record, I am not someone who never gets tired at all. Tiredness in the middle of the day is something I struggle with constantly. Caffeine doesn't help me personally, so I figured I'd share what does. Story 15. I have insane amounts of energy, maybe it's my undiagnosed ADD, but I rarely need caffeine. I also can only sleep for about 5 hours a night and still function normally. I honestly hate that I can't sleep for more than 7 hours. And no, my diet is terrible because I usually eat one filling meal a day. I don't exercise much, other than just walking around at work, or walking around a town while working. I will say this, I drink a ton of water every day. I feel like I am always thirsty and can easily drink a liter of water in one gulp. If I am driving long distances, I have my big water bottle that I usually refill every time I stop at a gas station, and will probably buy a bottled water just in case. If I'm going out for a night out and getting drinks, I will easily down a liter of water before stepping out of my place. So maybe ADD and water are the source of my energy? I don't know. Alright folks, that's a wrap. If you like this, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your those in the comment below.